It's Rickles is here. We did before the intro was over. All right, guys. What is up, everybody? Guys, how you doing?
Doing really great. So not too bad this week.
I
Pretty
didn't change
excited.
my thing. I'm still the guy playing Gravity Circuit, even though I beat Gravity Circuit.
I have no idea what that is. Oh, is that the 2D platformy one that you're playing, the kind of Mega Man style game? Yeah.
Ooh, Chaos is first on here, and he's first on Twitch. All right. Oh, that was Tarnicus. He's second. All right, guys. We have a kind of a big announcement to make today. So what we wanted to talk about was Chaos is here.
How you guys doing?
Brother Chaos. Yes.
I came through okay? All right.
Yeah.
Making sure.
What's up,
Hey, everybody.
Chaos?
How's it going?
Good to see everybody. Absolutely. Everybody in the comments, definitely.
So we this week we spun the wheel last week and my game of choice came up and someone asked if I wanted to come on here and talk about it. So yeah, man, sure. This is easily one of my favorite games of all time. So we will I'll not influence you fellows too much on your playthroughs. So today we're talking about Timesplitters 2. So it is a first-person shooter game. It came out for PS2, Xbox, and the GameCube. Really, in my opinion, the key in this is the multiplayer in this game is absolutely fantastic. Brings back the best memories of some of my best memories of my childhood. But essentially, as first-person shooters go, you got 10 levels. Each level takes place in a different time. You're effectively searching after these time crystals to try to restore the kind of balance of making sure the enemies, this alien race, don't come through and screw up the timeline of humanity and try to make them go extinct. It's a real good time. A lot of the levels feature very archetypish, kind of almost goofy looking characters and sound bites of old zombies and things like that. It's a good time.
Definitely a little comical on some levels. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's a game.
It is, in fact, a game that I watched you play.
It should also be noted that there's an extreme amount of similarities to the infamous because the lead designer of this and director for the Timesplitters game his name is David Doak, and he was a developer on GoldenEye. And after
did he have a hand in Perfect Dark as well?
Yes, it was GoldenEye and Perfect Dark, and he and another composer left Rare to come do this, or just to found Free Radical. And Free Radical went to make a few games, but they started with the Timesplitters series. They did Timesplitters 1, 2, and 3, which 3 is labeled Future Perfect. And unfortunately, they shuttered their doors after a while just kind of in an indefinite hiatus of Timesplitters 4. So there was almost going to be 4 in the series. I will say, without getting into spoilers, Future Perfect is personally my favorite. So I'm glad you like 2, but I have a ton of multiplayer memories. Part 3 on? It was kind of the same thing as 2. It was a cross-platform release, so it was on Xbox and PS2.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And I think GameCube as well. So
I might have to download that one.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, point being, you see a lot of similarities in this game, especially the health bars, the armor bars, how all of those mechanics work, how your objectives work. I mean, the menu is basically 1-to-1 ripped from GoldenEye. It looks exactly like that. But that's not to say that's a problem either. GoldenEye's got a lot of problems. Its menu and health gear are not one of them. So, yeah, I've got a lot of memories in 2. And what's funny about that, I'm glad you brought up the multiplayer, because that's probably where most of my memories lie as well. I played so much multiplayer. I built so many levels, and we always played the virus level types and everything. That was always our favorite. We played a ton of multiplayer.
I'm actually kind of sad at the fact that I never played this game back in the day. Like, I mean, all the great memories you guys have. I mean, playing the campaign on this, every single level, like you said, was a different time period. Chaos. I enjoyed them, and I feel like I would have definitely played hours upon hours in some type of multiplayer for this. Absolutely, like if the servers are still up.
Well, and that was the kind of thing is Future Perfect had full Xbox Live support. So there was not only full online multiplayer, there was map sharing. You could upload maps and stuff as well. And then there was also co-op through Xbox. You could play the campaign cooperatively. The one other thing about Future Perfect that I think is a major leg up compared to 2 is that Future Perfect is actually in widescreen format. It's a 16:9, where Timesplitters 2 is still 4:3. So get a little bit more of that screen real estate on there. But you know, for the most part, they basically all play the same, with the exception of Timesplitters 1 being, I think, by far the weakest in the series, and the one I never recommend anybody to play. I say skip it altogether and start with 2 for sure.
Yeah.
So I actually never have played any of the Timesplitter games. This is my first time, and I think one of the first things I said, Chaos was there, was this reminds me a lot of GoldenEye.
Yeah.
And so now it makes sense that it was the same guy that.
Yeah, definitely had a lot of similarities to GoldenEye, both in the feel of it. To me, it feels like it was GoldenEye, but with GameCube and PS2 Xbox graphics, and it definitely had, I mean, having an extra stick for control, way better.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I it's the same thing with GoldenEye. I tell nobody to go back and play that, just because I think that's a game that is completely plagued with nostalgia blindness. Like,
For
don't get me wrong, I played the hell out of it when I was a kid growing up, and so did all my friends that, you know, we wanted a LAN party and whatever. I guess not really LAN party, but split screen multiplayer. But you go back to it now, it is not a great game. It is incredibly rough around the edges. It does not control well. It suffers from frame rate problems. I mean, it's like everything. Timesplitters is like what GoldenEye should have been if it was built like the right way.
And maybe like 5 years later.
Right.
5 years later.
So one of the things about GoldenEye was I did realize they actually brought it out on the Game Pass, and I think they brought it out on PlayStation Plus with kind of an upgrade, but not too much of an upgrade. Like the controls are better, but it's a lot of this. I mean, it's almost like skin for skin, the exact same. So, but I mean, you know, like you said, I feel it's pretty much the nostalgia blindness. I can appreciate it, you know, but yeah, let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
For sure. And like, I know for me, like I was even at a young age when I had, you know, a GameCube and all this, like I at that point had started playing PC shooters at that point.
Yeah.
By the time I was probably like 10, 11 years old, I was building computers and playing PC shooters. And so like for me to go play a shooter on a console was a kind of a big deal. And this one, the multiplayer alone is just fantastic with all the different modes. You could four-player couch co-op even on grandma's old TV. You didn't have to have like an HD screen to view it. You know, it was really accessible as far as like shooters go, and especially like for me, because I had a GameCube, I could just tote that. I could throw that thing in a backpack and tote it anywhere. It was small and portable, and go over to a buddy's house in the middle of nowhere with no internet and play it until 3 a.m. drinking Mountain Dew and eating Cheetos, you know, like you do.
Well, I think oh, go ahead, Salman.
Rick said he always preferred Perfect Dark over GoldenEye. So
yeah, there's a lot of influence, I would argue, even for this, like, because, you know, Perfect Dark was that kind of like Neo Tokyo feel.
Yeah,
there's a Neo Tokyo level.
There's a Neo Tokyo level on here, absolutely, dude.
A lot of the sci-fi, even like the bad guys, like some of the actual like time splitters and stuff that start popping in, they have that like Neo Tokyo vibe. So I mean, it's very clear. I'm curious as how much of that art influence, like how much this, Dave had on Perfect Dark and everything else. I'm not sure if he was a director, if he was just a developer or whatever, because I know he came into GoldenEye after development had started. He said like levels were already laid out, wireframes, everything. So I don't know if he like ultimately, picked a lot of that path, but if he didn't, he certainly borrowed a lot from what GoldenEye laid,
Yeah. I mean, I didn't play Perfect Dark, so I wouldn't know. But it like the first thing I felt when I played this game was GoldenEye. Y'all want to get into some gameplay footage?
We can.
Sure.
I'm gonna go ahead and throw Freedoms up there then.
All right. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed this one. Like I said before, I wish I would have played it back when it came out for the PlayStation 2. Even just split screen would have been top tier. For the multiplayer, I saw all of the side challenges and stuff that they did. The level design on here was pretty sweet. I really enjoyed the fact that it was literally 10 completely different time periods. And they brought out the weapons were amazing for each time period. They pretty much kept it true to, I guess, the timepiece of what it was. Very simplistic for not really simplistic. Yeah, like we said, it definitely feels like Perfect Dark and GoldenEye, but even better. I mean, the aiming wasn't really off the wall. The controls were pretty fluid. It was difficult at times, but it wasn't overly difficult, and I love the cutscenes were on here. I enjoyed all the cutscenes, different characters that you were. I thought it was really, really awesome. A bunch of different enemies that they had available, I mean, every single time period had their own type of enemy, so I really feel like they put a lot of time and effort into this. Soundtrack was pretty great. Every single time period had a pretty catchy tune. The enemies, the boss, one of the things that I did realize is, I mean, if you had enough ammo, you could literally just kind of like light the bosses up. So it really wasn't too difficult for that, but these last two levels were definitely the bane of existence if you didn't really know what you were supposed to be doing. But I did enjoy the roughness of it for most of those robots were absolutely crazy. And this final level, I literally felt like I was just like on the trigger the entire level. If I wasn't getting chased or doing whatever, I mean, you only had a little bit of time in between to really catch your breath and hopefully find some type of armor or something like that. But I really feel like the entire game was done very, very well. Completely blew my mind with this. Absolutely top tier for me.
There is not enough time with the chain gun. I will say that.
No, dude, it gives you like 30 seconds.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, that's about
what
it.
Is this?
And it's not in the rest of the game at all. You can tell that was their big, like, well, we got to give them something cool for the finale. So we give you the chain gun, but
yeah. So, but definitely awesome, man. It was pretty fluid. Like I said, the characters were pretty great. The enemy design was pretty great. Level design wasn't, some of them were smaller, but some of them were a lot bigger. Definitely really happy with this one.
Time to get out of here.
Good stuff.
Yeah, buddy.
I really appreciated that they took the time to match all their weapons to the environment.
Yeah.
Instead of, just sitting you loose with the same gun over and over again.
Right.
You had the Thompson gun in the Prohibition era level.
Well, so the only thing that kind of gave me a hard way to go was at first I didn't really think about the fire on the Aztec level, so those tree guys were chasing me, and I'm like, maybe you're supposed to just run from these guys, and then I'm like, wait a minute, there's a torch, there's a pedestal with fire on it. Hang on for a second, let me see if I can light this. And it was like after I died like 3 or 4 times, I'm like, something has got to do something with this. So, but yeah, like I said, not too overly difficult. Once you kind of got through, I got a little turned around on the final level because I mean, it's literally. Like I immediately found the pedestals or the computers where you had to set the self-destruct. That wasn't a problem. But the first time I played through, I went right and went to the airlock, and then it's like, oh yeah, well guess what? You can't breathe. So I'm like, well, let me try it this way first. So yeah, I was really, really happy with that. Absolutely.
Griff said they look like Mikey from Men in Black. And one thing I noticed at the beginning of the game is all of the enemies look like Benedict Cumberbatch.
Benedict
Like every one of them. They all do.
They do have that kind of like elongated
Long face.
like, face.
Yeah,
tall kind
definitely.
of I mean, it's
Hooky,
kinda,
welcome in. Griff, welcome in. Thank you so much.
Probably helps if I take myself off mute. Did you guys play co-op Freedom Shadowlands?
No, I did not. If we could have hooked up,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm definitely down with playing some type of co-op on Parsec, but I did not. I played it straight through.
One of the interesting things about talking about like the characters and stuff, if you play on co-op, you get 2 different time appropriate characters, and you can look at each other, and they're like on the space sci-fi level. One of the characters looks like a mix between like Zap Brannigan and Captain Kirk. Like it's very thematic. Like it adds a little bit
I
of
was
that.
gonna say the one guy from the Alien level looked like a mix between the Jetsons and Captain Kirk. Absolutely.
Well, and that's kind of what's interesting about some of these is that the first. Have you played the first Timesplitters Chaos? I mean, I grew up with these games too, so I
played it once when I was a kid, and then I immediately jumped onto 2 as soon as it came out. Like
yes, so
better.
Timesplitters 1 is like completely bare bones, and there's honestly like not really a story to it. It's just kind of like level to level to level to level, not really a story, and it's basically the same kind of like you got to get to a point, you pick up a briefcase, and you go back to the start, and it's like every level's like that. It's so bare bones. It's kind of like, ooh, don't play this, but you play as the era appropriate character, and this one you're kind of like Cortez. Assuming the role of people you're doing what's the name of that what's the name of that TV show? I can't think of the name of it, but the guy he jumps through a wormhole and he gets into some person's body and has to live their life for a certain amount of time. Do you know what I'm talking about? You guys know what the hell I'm talking about. Somebody knows what I'm talking
familiar.
Kurt, oh gosh, his name almost came to me. Anyway, so that's kind of how Timesplitters 2 is. Timesplitters 3 Quantum Leap, that's the one. That's the one. Thank you, Griff. I knew Griff.
Leave it to Griff.
And I was going to say Future Perfect is different in that you are always Cortez. The story 100% focuses as Cortez. You're kind of communicating back and forth with, home base or whatever. And when you go into those eras, the era appropriate character is basically like a companion that you do the mission with. Like he does his own stuff and he says, hey, go do this. And you kind of like, weave in and out each other's paths and stuff through the story. But yeah, Scott Bakula. I almost said Baccarat, but yeah, Bakula. So there you go. No, but so anyway, the point I'm getting to is Future Perfect has the most story. It has, I think, the more interesting levels, and it evolved the most. You even have the grav glove, the gravity glove. Like you got a little bit of Half-Life 2 in there, kind of thing.
Nice.
So this is like the good middle of the line. It's not as bare bones and terrible as like Timesplitters 1. It's not as evolved as Timesplitters 3, which you kind of expect. And so it's like you get a little bit of story and you get like the groundwork for what they wanted to do with the levels. So I feel like this one's like right in the middle. That's why I was so curious about why you picked Timesplitters 2 over something like Future Perfect. I got a lot of memories of 2 as well, but
it's mostly just that. A lot of memories. I didn't own Timesplitters 3. So I played it a couple times with friends. But, 2 was always the childhood classic. Call up the buddies, be like, hey, let's bring Timesplitters over and crash on the couch and have at it.
Buddy. Yeah, buddy.
I'd be curious to play Timesplitters 3 co-op. Is it co-op? Just like, okay.
Yeah.
I'd be curious
And that's what I was going to say. Like, after Slow-Mo tanks this and gives this like an F rank, I figured he might actually appreciate Future Perfect, not because it has more cutscenes than 2, but it's got like the Evil Dead 2 level in it. That's clearly influenced from that. There's definitely a lot more comedy, and like the co-op's really good in that one and everything else. So
nice.
Yeah, I don't know.
Almost like they had fun making it.
They definitely did. Future Perfect's good. I would highly recommend playing Future Perfect or refreshing yourself if it's been a while since you played it. But yeah, that's all I can say about that.
Are you all ready for me to take this and give it an F rating?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, I am.
Well, I'll throw my gameplay up then. Somebody remind me to turn the volume on that down.
Yeah,
You
do every
I had to go
time.
in and
I don't know what
edit-
to
I
say.
had to go in and edit it instead of blowing everybody's eardrums out, but it happens. So I did play this game co-op. I played it co-op with Chaos. So I tried playing this one solo. I got through the first 2 levels, I think. Maybe. No, I didn't even get through the first level, and I was not having a good time. But me, being me, I will play anything co-op, pretty much.
What difficulty did you guys play on by chance?
Normal.
Just
Normal.
Okay.
Unless you play through and beat it on normal, it doesn't unlock hard mode. So you have to play it on
gotcha.
normal first. Yeah.
We did play it on normal. It was an alright game. It was better, definitely better co-op because games with friends are always better than playing by yourself. But if this was one of those that I had to play solo, I would not have beat this game because I didn't want to.
I feel like you probably could have. One of the biggest things
I could have.
that I
just
tell
didn't want to.
people about this game is to customize the controls. As soon as you start, just go push the start button, go to the controls, go
First
through
thing I
all the
did.
controller settings, and make it comfortable for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I hate the inverted look. And another thing that I had struggled with at the beginning was the turn sensitivity and the aim sensitivity are different. The aim sensitivity is much more sensitive than turning. Like I feel like you turn really slow, and when you aim,
Yeah.
it's like
It's
super like
yeah.
it has to be like perfect. But I mean, overall, I didn't hate the game co-op, and since I played it and beat it co-op, I am going to rank it as a co-op game. So I am not going to tank this game. Ha.
I don't believe it.
But I would play 3 co-op. I would not play it solo.
Yeah, there's definitely.
Well,
That's why I kind of say like it's almost clear that they built this game sort of using the level editor that they give you to edit your own levels. Despite like kind of the end here where there's a lot more roundy pieces, roundy areas, like a lot of the earlier levels are kind of straight corridor type stuff. And you can definitely tell it's like, oh yeah, this is out of the level editor. Like, they basically what they give you was kind of, like a whittled
Like a
down
sandbox,
version of whatever
yeah.
they use. And so, yeah, I mean, overall level design, it's kind of interesting because they seem sort of big, but if you sort of like kind of map it out, they're more layered more than anything.
Yeah.
So they can take place in kind of a small square wise, but maybe like a picture more like a cube, so rather than being one layer, it's kind of like, they like to use different stories in it and stuff. So, yeah.
Also, I just want to make note that I did not beat the game. Technically, Chaos beat the game because I am laying there on the ground dead.
I see that.
But
Don't tell him about that victory dance I did the one time you died.
he did. He victory danced all on the face. Another thing about this game is when you play co-op, one male character, one female character, and the female character has assets.
Well, and you can't say well endowed.
Disproportioned, if you will.
Yes.
They made to throw that in
ridiculous. It's ridiculous, guys.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
Mama, why are you looking down? It's split screen. I know you're peeking.
That is so there
It's
are two
stupid,
things.
guys.
There are 2 things in Timesplitters that are always a given in every single one of the games. There's going to be monkeys. There's going to be women with big melons,
those
and that's always guaranteed in all of the games. Monkeys, melons. Okay, the M&M. It's a Timesplitters M&M. So
There you go.
it is what it is.
It's a good old time.
All the developers are British.
And I will also second that the second to last level, I mean, my 2 personal hell levels in this game are the Robot Factory and Neo Tokyo.
Yeah.
Oh,
Agreed.
man.
I
those
had a
levels
hard
are
way to
so
go with Neo
hard.
Tokyo in the beginning, at least, because it was like you start following the chick. That's cool. I'm cool with that. But then it was like I couldn't. I was too quick with trying to get rid of the cameras, and
Mhm.
I forgot that I didn't know that the third camera you had
You
to
have to
look at
use
the
it.
you had to use it for the
So-
PC, and I'm like, what the hell am I doing, dude? So I'm like, all right, give me
There's
2
another
seconds. Yeah.
hidden, I guess maybe it's an extra layer of difficulty for co-op players. Only one person gets the temporal uplink.
Yeah,
It's
and
only
it
one
always gave
person
it to
can
me.
see where all the cameras are pointed, and the other
Yes.
one is kind of just
So it
running
gave
around
me
blind.
the temporal uplink, and
Right.
instead of I don't use it. So like, don't give me it.
I never, you know what? I didn't use it the whole time though. I mean, the only time I used it was at Tokyo when you were following the chick, because it was like, where the hell is she? You have to like find out where she was. The rest of
just
the
looked for
game, I didn't even
cameras.
use it. Yeah,
It's
all
really
of
only
them
useful on
off.
levels that have cameras,
Yeah.
or if you're just really lost and like you're trying to find the time crystal, or you're trying to. I mean, me and Slomo get separated from each other, and if the second player moves around, it causes a little red blip to appear on it, and so you can fight each other. But that, I mean, really, that was kind of the only uses for it. But the fact of like, there's so many cameras on that level, and the cop cars that can get you, and you know, we're trying to do the whole, you know, modern day. I'm hunched behind your back, following you because I can't see. I can just screen peek and try to triangulate my position to figure out how to avoid the cameras.
I think shot the cameras.
I think one of the
oh yeah, we did too.
The what was I going to say?
Nova Star, thank you very much for
difficulty.
In.
I will say one thing too. Difficulty level is not only just like there's a couple problems with difficulty. So let me touch on it real quick. Because basically in this game, difficulty equates to you taking more damage and enemies being more bullet sponges, which is like my least favorite type of difficulty because it's not inherently difficult. It's just more annoying and time consuming most cases.
Yeah.
But in this game, difficulty also does dictate objective and items in levels. So like cameras or camera placement is different depending on difficulty. How much health and armor and stuff like that is on the ground is dependent on difficulty. And same with objectives too.
That was similar in GoldenEye.
Me and Slomo ran out of ammo a lot.
Especially on that robot factory.
Yeah, because I feel like the ammo drops, even if you're playing co-op, it just gives you the same amount of ammo drops. So
there were
really...
two struggles with this game. I always had the temporal uplink, so chaos can never find me, because if you've ever played a game with me, I will run away from you if you do not keep up. 2, also if you don't keep up, I'm collecting every bit of ammo that drops on the ground because it's there, and I'm going to run through
many bad guys. I punched so many bad guys.
He did. He was out there rocking sock.
I even punched bad guys, and then he would pick up the ammo from the guy I just killed. I was like, what the hell, man?
That's my toxic trait. I will take your ammo drops. Chaos has all the health and Slow-Mo has all the ammo. Couldn't have said it better, because I'm going to be running around getting shot because I do not know what stealth means.
For the sake of the podcast playthrough, I played through on easy, but that's because I've beaten these games so many stinking times back in the day on all difficulty levels that I'm like, I know I don't have the patience to sit through the hard mode on this right now because they are very. I mean, it's basically like you cannot take certain hits. Like if you take a certain hit, you may as well just not play through the level, especially when you have your own splash damage on explosives and the splash damage is so huge on like grenades and stuff. It is just a pain. So yeah, anybody who is interested in playing these, I give you zero shame for playing these on normal difficulty, or I mean easy. I mean even easy, just play through easy and enjoy it for the story or whatever. But you won't get any of the cool unlocks from the challenges and stuff unless you get good, you know.
I mean, cannot tell you
the
one
only
bit
thing
of the story
with that though that I appreciate, you know, the only thing you're getting unlocks for in the main game is just character skins for multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all of the game modes and the everything with multiplayer aside from like the skins was unlocked by playing multiplayer, which I really appreciate.
Yeah. But, and challenges and multiplayer. I thought challenges did that stuff too.
They do. We didn't really get into the challenges. I think we were going to play some multiplayer, but I think time was kind of a constraint for.
We beat it at like 2:00 this afternoon. So
yeah.
I think when did I send you that message? I think I beat it at like 3:30, 4:00. The last two levels, yeah.
Yeah. Griff said he'll also steal your loot and kill you with stratagems. I mean, ammo drops your loot. And I will take them.
This is also true. See you do it.
If I don't collect it, somebody might leave it behind.
Slow-Mo, what's in your inventory? Why can't we see it? You got any stuff we can have? No.
Everything is in my inventory. Nope. I'm a loot goblin. Can't help it.
So do we want to rank this then?
We should. Let's get on to the ranking. All right. I have strategically placed this game in the B column. That is not an indicator of how I feel about this game. But given the game, I would give it a B.
I don't know who's going to go next. I can go next. I have zero qualms about giving this game a C. And the reason I say that is because I know what Future Perfect's like and how much of a step up it is, in my opinion, from this. And so this is a fine middle of the line game. I mean, there's nothing inherently broken about it. It plays fine. There's nothing technically wrong with it. It's the frame rates are fine and stuff. So I don't have any issues with it. I got a ton of memories with it. A lot of fun with the multiplayer. I love stuff that's couch co-op. This is couch co-op. So play this co-op. But it's a C for me because I know where I'd put Future Perfect. So
for me, I feel like it's a solid B myself as well. Like I said, the soundtrack was great. You guys know I'm huge on the soundtrack in video games. The frame rate was pretty fresh. I didn't have any glitches at all throughout the game. Each level, like I said, was perfectly. I want to say perfectly done in the aspect of they took time in thinking about the weaponry in each time period. The enemies obviously look completely set for the time period. The levels weren't too big, and one of the reasons why I feel like this is a B-rated game is because the storyline was pretty great all the way around. If someone was to just pick this game up, not know anything about it, and they were just pretty much just kind of kicking back, just having a chill time within reason of some of the more difficult levels, they could literally just pick this game up and not have anything to do with the first game and just enjoy it and pretty much just play through each level. If depending on the difficulty, wasn't too long, so if someone was pretty much set for time restraints, they could pick it up, play maybe one or two levels, come back to it another time. I feel like anybody can pick this game up and do really well with it and at least enjoy it. So I think it's a solid B.
I muted myself. But yeah, I'm fine with the BC category. Chaos, you want to throw your input in there? It's your game.
Hi, it's your guys' show, man. I'm just here to give commentary.
Yeah,
and obviously for me, one of my favorites. So I'm pretty biased about this one. It's got a lot of good memories tied to it. And I will say, give one counterpoint that I know, I'm also basing this based off the fact that I played a ton of multiplayer in this game. Which is, in my opinion, the best part of this game. So, I mean, me personally, I'd give it a high B. I'm gonna B.
Okay. I mean, I think we're all pretty comfortable at that middle of the road BC level. So.
And Shadaloo, I'm definitely going to be downloading the next one and definitely checking it out. If you talk it up and it's even better than this one, I'll definitely be playing that one.
Oh, yeah, it's better than this one. There's actually vehicles in it. I mean, there's like a story. And I will say this, the ending to Future Perfect is like really cool. I love the ending to Future Perfect. This one like doesn't really have an ending. I know we didn't talk about that, but it's just like it just kind of ends. Like there's
I mean,
not a lot to fight through there. So
I feel like that's the story is definitely pretty lacking.
I wouldn't know.
Again, if I were just to base it off the single player game, I would just give it a C. Honestly, the multiplayer giving it an A if it was just by itself, and then so it kind of averages out to a B in my mind.
Right.
Yeah. I agree. I didn't inherit. I hated the game by myself, but as soon as co-op, it was pretty good. And I would play the other game co-op. I wouldn't play it solo. But the co-op version of this game that I played is pretty B. Pretty B.
I'll say this too. If anybody is interested in playing Timesplitters 2 or Future Perfect, good old guys over at Microsoft and actually caring about game preservation, these games are available on the Xbox Store. So you can just buy them if you want to play them digitally. You can own a digital copy of them. Or if you've got an Xbox One or an Xbox Series X and you actually have the physical copy, you can just play them in your Xbox One or Xbox Series console. So,
Nice.
yeah, totally backwards compatible there, which is what I did. I played them that way. So you get quick resume. You can take your screenshots, your video. That's how I captured all my video, was just on the console, actually, and carried it over. So, yep. Good place to
Right.
Nintendo cared about that for like one whole console. You can play Timesplitters 2 on the Wii. I guess it was a GameCube game, but that was about it.
That was it.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to play it, anybody wants to play Timesplitters 3 or whatever.
I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to tell you right now, out of just immense frustration, there is no good reason why the PlayStation 5 can't be backwards compatible with all generations. There's no good reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
So, especially considering like even the PS1 game support on all of the PS3 consoles. It was all emulation. You just put in a disc and it's like, cool, we know how to run this. There's no hardware change needed.
Right.
So Sony needs to get better at that. And Nintendo's at least like semi good. They, each console usually kind of supports the last sort of thing. But, I don't know if I even hate to say it, but Microsoft's like really nailing it on a lot of stuff recently. So
yeah, because they have backwards compatibility on not as many original Xbox. I mean, they're still putting stuff out, but 360 backwards compatible is pretty top tier on that for right now.
I saw in the store, because you could sort by just like all the classic stuff.
Yeah,
and it was like 460 games.
Yeah, I was playing.
It's a lot.
The other day I was playing Army of Two for the 360. I was playing Dante's Inferno, Dragon's Dogma. All of them are backwards compatible for the Xbox. So yeah,
it's awesome,
Yep.
dude. Thanks, Bill Gates.
Right.
So Timesplitters 2.
Good stuff. We gonna spin it?
Should we spin it now? Yeah, we can do that.
Might as well. Let's figure it out.
Alrighty. Well, let's get into the wheel. So while we were doing that, I went back and I figured out that it was Phalanx.
Is that what it was? It was Phalanx for the SNES.
Phalanx, yeah.
Okay, I'm good with that.
So that's what is on the wheel now. And last week we almost had a Cuphead disaster, and then Griff tried to give us another Cuphead disaster. So let's not hope for a Cuphead disaster this time. Give us a few good shuffles and spin. Quackshot, please.
Oh, classic.
Yeah.
Classic.
Quackshot.
Good stuff.
I'm excited about that.
Another great title.
I gotta see if I have that on my Genesis Mini.
Have you played Quackshot before at all?
Nope.
Oh,
I definitely haven't.
I don't think I have the hard copy either. I used to.
I mean, is it?
Take a look at it.
Is it similar to? Let's see.
I don't know. I feel like this one's kind of a standalone with it.
It is. It's kind of similar to.
Oh yeah. Okay. It's
more similar to
DuckTales style.
I would say. What is it? The Darkwing Duck.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna guess.
Yeah.
Kind of that classic platformer feel.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he's kind of like he kind of looks like a chubber. His sprite's kind of weird.
Yeah. We're gonna go ahead and
he's fluffy.
Griff, if we could play Army of Two co-op, that would be pretty awesome.
There's a lot of good co-op games we could probably play.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, even Halo's co-op.
Yeah.
We've all been. I mean, I know like me and Slow-Mo and Tark, who's in the chat over on Twitch. Like we've been playing a lot of co-op games lately.
Yeah.
It's kind of just been our thing. Like
I should go through the Master Chief Collection next because the entirety of the Master Chief Collection is co-op.
Yeah, I was doing a little bit of that on stream a couple weeks ago.
Oh, this looks like a fun time.
The Dracula,
Oh, no.
the Dracula enemy.
Seeing some plunger jumping.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Seeing some fire hot action in there.
Yeah. Ooh. There it goes. Looks like a.
This is a boss right here. Yeah.
It looks like a fun little game.
Has anybody played this?
I've played it.
Okay.
I've never beaten it.
I've beaten it a couple times, but it's a great game.
I look forward to watching you guys play it. Anybody gonna play it on stream?
I don't
I'm
know.
down with that.
Maybe I'll do it on the First Round Showdown Twitch or something.
Yeah, I think I will not.
It's like, yeah, I'm not feeling that.
I give more time.
Honestly, so like last week I was.
Was this a Genesis
Sucked.
exclusive?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Last week I was pretty sucked into some other games that I've been. I got a crazy Steam backlog that I got to try to work through, and so.
Backlog, what's that?
Yeah, I got it.
I've
a lot of
played
games
all
on
of
The
there.
opposite of a front log, obviously.
I guess. Yeah, I got a massive front log in more ways than one, you know.
Oh,
But yeah, so that kind of sucked me in last week. So then I was like, oh, I still got to play Timesplitters too. I'm very grateful that Chaos was available to do that today because Gravity Circuit and Ender Lilies took up all my time.
There you go.
I'm
But
trying to
they're
think of what I've
impressed.
been playing otherwise. I've been playing. I got sucked into PC stuff. I was playing Anno 1800 and what was the other thing? Planet Coaster, because my son was really interested in just building his own theme park. So
Nice.
I've been playing both of those things quite a bit.
I haven't
Oh,
played
and I
a
was
theme
playing
park
Toomba.
game in a while. Oh, and Toomba, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm finally unsuspended, so got back into that right quick.
I went to see Shadowloose play Gravity Circuit. I think you would really enjoy the game.
That looks great. Is that
It's
on
got
the
like
list?
that. No, Griff put it on the
I know
list,
Griff had it on the list, yeah.
but I mean, I could put it on the list if y'all want to buy it. It's $16.99.
Griff says he's praying for Cuphead, but Griff, do you play Cuphead? Do you want to play Cuphead?
I mean, I'll play Cuphead. I've never beaten it. I've gotten really far in it. So I got it when it came out. Because I don't know if many people remember this, but like when Cuphead was announced, it was basically kind of like this little quaint indie title.
Yeah.
There's a few people that were like excited for it, but it was like not on people's most anticipated like games list or anything like that. And then it was like Microsoft acquired it. And all of a sudden, it started having marketing, and people. Yeah, and I remember they had to delay it a couple times because they're like, "Shit, we gotta actually like polish this sucker up," you know.
It's done so well, though.
Yeah, I mean, for good reason. It's there's no other game like it, especially visually and stuff. But
it's very well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why a lot of people really like it. It's both. It has that like old school game difficulty curve, but it also has that very unique aesthetic to it.
Yeah,
it has fantastic soundtrack.
Oh yeah,
and it's very the controls and everything on it are super smooth. Like it is a almost perfectly made game.
Thanks, Bill Gates.
The delay was terrible, but so good. Absolutely, for when the game came out, yeah.
I didn't find it till probably I don't know when it came out, but I played it a couple years ago, and I haven't. I didn't beat it. I came really close, and then I just put it down. And
that was the thing. I got it when it came out. This is before there was no physical copy when it came out originally. Now there is.
Right.
But so I got it digitally, and I don't know. I got really far into it, but there's something else that caught my attention at the time, and I was just like, "Yep, okay, I got to go play that," and I never really went back to it. So
I think I started playing Cuphead right before I started playing Hollow Knight. I think that's kind of what.
See, and I've never played Hollow Knight either, but
oh, you should.
there's a lot of those kind of like challenge platform games though. Like I love Celeste. I fell in love with Celeste. I fell in love with Super Meat Boy.
Yeah.
I'd like to even play Super Meat Boy again. Super Meat Boy is a lot of fun. So
That's another one for the 360 that's still backwards compatible.
Yeah, Super Meat Boy is very challenging.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to play that one day, and that's kind of like that's why I think you might like Gravity Circuit because it does tie in those same elements as like Celeste and Super Meat Boy.
I can see that.
And you know, obviously it's based around Mega Man, but like it's not. He's very more movable. There's more movement options than there is with Mega Man.
Okay.
Mega Man's very.
At first, when I saw you playing it the other day, I'm like, why does that look like a little baby Shredder? Because he had the little 3 prongs or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
He's got like the 3, and I'm like, is that Shredder? I'm like, what the heck's going on here?
Yeah, that's a fantastic game.
And he's doing Guile's flash kick.
Oh, and those epic pile drivers.
That pile
Right.
driver is top tier. That pile driver.
it's like Chaos
does
frequently
damage.
bring that up in stream. I'm like, it's like okay,
Bruh.
something.
The pile driver hits different. It's a good thing.
It really does. Well, not only that, but like in that game, like the pile driver is powerful, very powerful. So it's a good one to have. It was the only one that stayed on my.
Is that kind
My
of like a
list of moves.
Metroidvania type of game, or is it like certain levels, or what is it?
No, it's very much just like Mega Man
Okay.
as far as like level design and how the game's played. There's more jumping and clinging, and there's that Ninja 5.0 chain grapple swinging. And
I saw you messing with that the other day.
you know, it's like beefed up Mega Man.
Saunted.
Yeah.
There's a lot more, and you don't get the powers of the people. Well, you do. Okay, so each level boss that you beat, you unlock 2 abilities, but you can only have 4 abilities in your list at one time. So you have to go back and you have to change them out. But you can also the same thing with armor. There's armor upgrades, but you have to change them out, and then you have
sounding very Mega Man X6-ish. To be completely honest, there's different armor sets and that. There's different X-Buster upgrades, attributes that you need to swap in and out. Like I'm telling you,
Kinda.
go play X6.
I mean, but the Gravity Circuit plays a lot more like the controls are a lot more fluid. It's a lot more platforming, and there's not a lot of ranged attacks. Like most of your attacks are punches, kicks, variations where you fly across the screen and hit something. Pile drivers, for God's sake. I mean, come on.
yeah.
It's
more close range. There's an armor suit where you can shoot projectiles every second punch, but other than that, it's more like a up close fighting. That's where it differs from Mega Man, I think.
Hookie says, I like hearing you guys talk. Hope you guys have your Monday was good. Thank you, Hookie. Absolutely. It's always great to have you here, sweetie.
Thanks, Hookie.
Yeah, it's a very good game.
We need to put Dead Cells on here.
Dead Cells? I mean, is that really beatable?
Well, you can get through and unlock the first cell.
So it's not like there's not a clear beginning and end?
For the first time through, it is.
Oh. I mean, you have that option.
That's the same thing with like Hades and stuff like that.
Right,
like my cousin went nuts with Hades, and I've seen it, but like I haven't played it myself. So
I still need to get the Blasphemous games.
I just bought it, so it's on
really
sale.
Good.
Blasphemous 1 is on sale on Xbox right now. I think for like $3 or $4.
It's on Xbox.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What?
Blasphemous 1 and 2 are on Xbox, but that's what I'm saying is if you don't care if you own it physically or digitally or whatever, like it's only a few dollars on Xbox.
Do they have a hard copy?
Yeah, I've got hard copies.
So I know with Steam there was a bundle with Blasphemous.
Yeah, it came with 1 and 2, but the bundle like 2 wasn't on sale was the problem. At least not from what I saw.
Blasphemous and I think it was Blasphemous and Bloodstained. Which
they had 2 different Bloodstained games.
Yeah, I think it was Blasphemous and
Circle of or what? Some type of moon something.
Yeah,
they're definitely not a few dollars right now on Steam.
No, Blasphemous is $24.99 on Steam.
That's what I'm saying is on Xbox.
Yeah,
but yeah, here's physical
there
copy
you
of
go.
Blasphemous 1 on Switch, sealed. Sell to $80.
I might have to pick that up just to have it.
Yeah,
see, like a lot of these Metroidvania style platformers just feel like really good Switch games, you know.
That's why I get them all there. All of those that feel like kind of a classic game. I buy the physical copy for the Switch, and it's like, yep, that's what my Switch is going to be.
Like Gravity Nintendo, we're giving Nintendo the money. That's right.
Yeah, Gravity Circuit felt like the Switch game to me. Like it would have done really, and like Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight feels like it's meant to be played on the Switch.
Yep. Oh, you know what?
Switch Pro
DuckTales
controller. I
was thinking about that. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but while we're talking about sales, DuckTales Remastered is like $3 on Xbox right now too. And that's if you haven't played DuckTales Remastered, the remaster's like stupid good. So
Pokey says she likes physical copies. Well, don't get used to them because they're going away soon.
They are.
Yes, they are.
They are.
Everywhere's already
so hard.
Walmart, Target, Best Buy. They've all already said they're getting rid of it. Xbox basically said that their next console is going to be digital only. Physical copies are gone.
Don't tell me that.
Yeah, because I mean,
Sony wants 70% to as well.
70% of their sales are digital sales. There's no sense in them.
That's in the U.S. That's in the U.S. In Europe, it's 90% of all of their sales are digital.
Yeah,
they don't care about physical. Physical's dead.
Yeah, I mean, once they figure that out, there's no reason for them to keep pumping out physical games just for them to end up in a landfill and then lose money on the production costs.
I tell people this too, like truly, honestly, we even owning the physical copy, you've been playing digital versions of those games for years now, anyway, for a decade. Like even when the Xbox One came out, like you would put in the game, and you know how they always do the like, hey, you need an update, and that update's 60 gigs. No, that's the game.
It's
literally downloading the whole game right now. There's nothing on that disc, and so it doesn't matter. So the disc is basically it's your receipt to say like, hey, I can play this. That's all the console's doing is looking at the disc for that. Like if they decide to say, hey, we don't want you to play the Master Chief Collection tomorrow, they'll just delist it on the store, and your disc won't work. And that's it.
And you know,
it won't matter.
To point it out, Ubisoft already did that with The Crew. Like they revoked everybody's licensing on it, and you can't play it at all. So that's all it really takes. That's all it is now. Is you buy the license on a disc instead of on the
I always hated that too. That Sony got so much, or Microsoft got so much crap for the Xbox One when they announced it because they wanted to do the requirement to be online or whatever to play. And, Sony marketing jumped on that instantly to start trashing. But I'm like, dude, you guys are the ones that have been trying to release digital only consoles forever prior to that. And it's like, it never worked out. And then it's like, nobody said anything to you about it. And all of a sudden somebody else tries it. And you're like, those idiots. How could you do that? Look at us handing a physical disc from one person to another. Like, it doesn't matter. Sony wants it to be all digital too.
But Best Buy's already got rid of physical copies, and then Target and Walmart both said by the end of 2024 they're going to be done.
Man,
because if people aren't buying them, they're just taking up space, and they could put more useful real estate out there that they could sell. They're not going to keep. They're not going to keep shelf.
You guys remember those weird in between? Like there was a couple months there where you would buy a physical copy of a game and bring it home, slide it into your Xbox 360, Xbox One. And it would just try to download the entire game onto your hard disk immediately without asking. Just like, hey, no. And then they patched it out. I think they only had it up for 2 or 3 months, but they were trying to make it to where I think there, if I recall, wasn't there a movement to where you could get the game, install it on your device, and then basically the device would just render the disc unusable ever again. And so it basically became a digital copy after 1 use.
Oh, I
was-
remember that. Yeah,
there was
Sony was
something-
like talking
Somebody
about
was
that
trying
with the
to do that.
PS4. Sony was trying to do it with the PS4. Like you couldn't share discs. So if you had the
Mhm.
disc, once you put it in your system and took it out, you couldn't put it in another console.
No, that was. I don't ever remember it being that severe, but so the way I remember this from
They were
Xbox,
trying to make it
What-
kind of that take it that route though was the idea.
They were.
what Microsoft I think was trying to do was because the console was always online, that you would put in the disc and it would say, okay, like the license key, whatever's on that disc is registered to this online account now. Like
Right.
you prove
Yeah.
that it's yours, you have it. Congrats, you own the disc, but like digitally it's yours. That's how we're gonna like keep it as part of your account.
Heavy
It wasn't that it's like,
DRM
hey,
enforcement.
puts in the disc and then it just immediately goes out the back shredded into like a trash bin or something. You know?
No, I mean
it
obviously
didn't
not
have it
like,
like that. You know,
it was gonna be to where you could not like I couldn't take a game and give it to Chaos and he'd play it.
yeah, they didn't. Yeah, you're right. They didn't want it to work like that. And
Yeah.
Which
but
is
again,
how games have been since the beginning of time.
yeah, I know. I've said this a million times. The Xbox One, it's an era of hubris. I could talk about this for an hour and I won't. But how it works, and this happens every generation. I promise you, it happens every generation. Okay, without flaw. So you had the PS2 generation, right? Amazing console, amazing generation. Sony is on their all-time high. They're like, oh my god, we're amazing. Nobody can touch us. We're awesome. Microsoft is like late to the game, but they're like, okay, well, we're gonna make the Xbox 360 and we'll keep it simple and it's just gonna be awesome at games. Sony's like, no, screw you. We're amazing. We do everything, right? It only does everything. It's got media card readers, media card formats you've never even freaking heard of. It's got USB ports on the wazoo. We do Blu-rays, we do 3D, we do whatever. And then the price is like astronomical. And it's super hard to develop for, and nobody bought it because hubris. And the 360 did phenomenal. Well, what happens? Microsoft goes, hey, the 360 did phenomenal. Nobody can touch us, baby, man. We got it all. We're the first person to shoot a console. Everybody loves us, whatever. And so they come out with the Xbox One, botch it with these big ideas. It's basically developed by the executives. They're like, it's going to look like a VCR. It's going to have multiple HDMI, inputs and outputs on it, so you can hook your cable box to it. It's going to be the everything console. It can do all this stuff, man. It's got the Blu-rays, it's got the games, it's got the internet, it's got the whatever. And Sony's like, hey, man, nah, we're just going to dial this back. We're just going to make a solid, simple console. It's going to be the PlayStation 4. It's going to be just play games and everybody be happy. Guess what? The Xbox One blew it, baby. Okay, it died. The PlayStation 4 did phenomenal. It was amazing. Everybody loved it, and so now it's just like the flip-flop. It goes
Back and
every
forth,
generation like that. It goes every generation like that. So, and meanwhile, Nintendo's over there, eating chocolate peanuts or something. They don't care about what anybody's doing.
Selling you cardboard
But
boxes.
PlayStation has already said that.
that.
PlayStation has already said that the
Yes,
PS5. They've already said the PS5 is in the end of its life cycle.
Yes, I know, which is crazy. I literally just got one because I've been sitting here like for years saying like there's nothing I want to play on that console that I can't already play somewhere else. And
I mean, they're still making games for the PS4.
I don't get the idea. Microsoft moved past that. Microsoft is like, we don't see it as a console generation to console generation to console generation, whatever. I guarantee you, Microsoft's plan is going to be like iPhones. You no longer have like, you've got the SE, you're going to have the Pro Max, whatever, right? And that's how it's going to work. You always know if you have the Series X, you've got the high-end fast one that does the best graphics. If you got the S, you know what? It's going to get the job done. You'll be able to play the games. It'll be nice, but it's not going to be as fancy as the X's. And so
It's gonna be the same as the last console.
That's what I'm saying. It's gonna be the release, and that's how they're gonna do it. Sony loves this idea of like, here's your generation, and yet developers are still gonna be 2 consoles behind because there's no real reason to move up and to be developing for the new stuff.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know. The future's weird.
So,
I don't like it.
you remember when, like, with the
Nova says
we were
it's a
talking
rat
about-
race across the board. It definitely is.
we're talking about with like the Xbox One, how they tried to implement a lot of like different functions into it that like a PC would do, and that
Yeah.
was terrible.
There's a lot
I
of
mean,
stuff.
Like we got this third-rate web browser, we got this god awful like
It was basically
random-
Windows 8. I mean, they put Windows 8 on it.
But I mean,
launch.
at that point, why don't they just sell people PCs at console prices that play exclusives and
And
stuff.
you guys forgot about the Kinect 2. It also came with the Kinect 2 to do all the voice and video and all of that stuff as well. There's some really cool stuff with that, but I also get why people don't want a camera and microphone pointed at them in their living room. I get that. So, I don't know. What are you going to do?
That's the way it goes.
Yeah.
I
Looks
know
like
it's
we're
late
starting
for
to wind
overtime.
down, guys. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's that time. We appreciate y'all hanging out. We appreciate
Absolutely.
Chaos for the game recommendation and for being on the show to discuss.
Thank you for coming on, Chaos.
Yeah,
absolutely,
fun times,
buddy.
fellas.
We
And
will.
I'll see you guys in the Discord.
We'll see you next week for Quackshot.
Quackshot for the Sega Genesis. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. It's so great to see you guys every single week, buddy.
Bye, guys.
See you, dudes.